name is Benjamin Faindrick, and I am going to interview my dad, Brian Faindrick, about his job. So, first question, what is your job or profession?
My profession is educator. My job is assistant principal of Wayne Valley High School, responsible for the science and technology departments inside of Wayne Valley High School.
Okay, very complicated. Um, and why did you want this job?
I like teaching people. I like teaching. I was teaching in a classroom and decided that I wanted to do more for teaching. I wanted to be able to not just affect one classroom at a time, but I wanted to affect whole schools, not just a single classroom.
Pretty cool. And question 3. Do you like what you do for a living? And if so, why?
I love what I do for a living because I get to spend my time with a great group of people. And the staff that I work with and the students that I work with are all amazing. And I have a really good time every day. There's always something new and exciting happening at Wayne Valley. And I think that the people that I work with are all very good people, and we get along well. I guess what I'm trying to say is that people are the reason why I like my job.
Okay, well, that was basically the next question, and it was, do you like being around your coworkers? And you basically explained why.
Well, I think I can explain a little bit more. The educators that I work with are all there for the same purpose. I teach and they teach, and we work together in different roles, but we all have one goal in mind, and that is to make sure that the students of Wayne have the best education possible. So we are all united in that cause.
Okay. And do you sometimes think that you get a lot of work at home?
I get a ton of work at home. Lately, not so bad, but about this time in June, in May and June, even in April, I do a lot of evaluations of teachers, and I do a lot of observations. And with the stuff that I do with students in the school, I don't often have time to write those things. So I usually take that work home with me and I write it after you go to bed, and after we have dinner, I'll watch some hockey and write some evaluations.
Oh. um, what are some problems that you face working as an assistant principal?
Lots of problems. There's the student issues. I mean, every once in a while we have, obviously in a big high school, not everybody's going to get along all the time, and sometimes we have, hard conversations with students and parents. Um, the I think our budget is another problem. There's a lot of stuff we would like to do, but not we don't always have the resources to do them. But we make do with what we have, and those are really kind of the major problems we have.
Okay. Can you explain some of your main responsibilities as an assistant principal?
Sure. I am responsible for discipline. So if students do things they shouldn't be doing, I have to enforce the discipline code. I am also responsible for attendance. I have to make sure all students are in the building when they say they're in the building, and make sure they don't leave when they're not supposed to be, and make sure they're going to their classes when they're supposed to be going to their classes. I'm responsible for observing teachers and classrooms. I'm responsible for evaluating about 35 to 40 teachers, writing their evaluations and helping them grow as educators. Um, I also am responsible for any facility. We're doing upgrades on the school. We're building new science labs, new technology labs. Where I'm responsible for budgeting for that, for planning, designing, and in general, just making our program better.
Very intricate. um, and what is your favorite part about being an assistant principal?
Not to sound repetitive, but it's the people I work with. I love the people that I work with. They're fantastic people. I like collaborating with them, and really going after that same cause together of, how can we just make things better? So I guess in addition to that, designing things. So either whether it's instructional design or whether it's physical design, when we create classrooms and we create programs that work together so that students get the best education they can.
Cool. And do you think that you were prepared for this job when you first took it?
Absolutely not. I was completely overwhelmed when I first got my job. I was lost, and really, I think that the thing that saved me was my boss, Principal Palzewski, was very calm, very patient, and very knew that it was an overwhelming job and made it easier for me. But I don't know if you remember it, but there was a time when I did this job when I did nothing but work. I would get like 5 hours of sleep, and then I would just get up the next morning and do it all over again. But I had to spend a lot of that, well, even more hours then figuring out what it was I needed to do and to do it. But this is my 4th year as an assistant principal there, and now I'm very comfortable. I don't have to. I don't panic about anything anymore. It's all much calmer, and we just get through through the issues that we have to get through.
Okay. And the final question, would you recommend this job to somebody that is looking for a full-time job?
That's a good question. I think you have to be the right kind of person to do this job. I don't think that anyone can do this. I think that you have to have the right temperament. If you are at all, if you get frazzled quickly, if you're not calm in any sort of situation, no matter what happens, then this job is probably not for you. I think for an educator, if you're a classroom educator now, I think that you could step up and go into administration and do more in that role. But at the same time, it's something that you really have to think about because it is a difficult job, and you have to have a real passion for it to make the difficult part, worthwhile.
Okay, well, thank you for letting me interview
Thank you for interviewing. This is great.
You have
I
a
love
very
talking about my
interesting
job.
And yeah, well,
Thanks a
that's
lot.
my dad.
All right.
Okay. Hooray. How do we
I don't know.
stop
I
it?
think it's Shift 2. I thought that was what it was. No, Command Shift 2.